Hey there, Dor here. Today I'm going to give you in this video one of the greatest possibilities that I can think of, and I wish that I heard that before. And it's a distinction. It's about, let's say if you're like me, for example, and you had this feeling in your life that, there's something that you want that is more than what was offered to you by, the society, the modern culture, that you keep seeking for something else. There's something that you just, it's not right. It doesn't sit with you, and you kept looking. You kept looking throughout your life, even as a child, but even later, keep being exploring and trying other things, and it was just like you kept seeking for that thing, and you didn't find it. And maybe people in your life, people in the society around you, your friends, your family, your partners, relationships, even your teachers, mentors, coaches, they gave you this advice, or the voice, even by the look, they told you, they made you feel that, you felt that something is different in you, that you're weird, or, there's something wrong with you. You just can't settle down. You can just not focus. You cannot be good with what is offered to you and what's around you and what everyone else is doing. And there was this thing that kept moving you to look for something else. But maybe, by looking at these people and hearing their advice, or hearing that they tell you just like stay here and do what everyone else is doing, you felt that there's something, that there's something wrong with you. There's like a piece of the puzzle that is missing. They said that maybe even they say like you live in a fantasy world, that you're not in reality, and all this stuff. Like I can see why it could stop you, like why it could stop someone from connecting to a certain part of themselves, of learning about themselves, and just feeling connected. Like what you feel is basically your whole experience about life, is how you feel life, right? How you feel here inside, that's your whole experience about life. So, if this stuff made you not be connected to yourself, to how you feel, that is like sad. That's, for me, it feels sad, and I heard these things too, and I, sometimes I didn't really listen, or I didn't take them for granted, but nobody ever told me, like I instinctively knew that my path lead me somewhere else, but some part of me sometimes thought that, there's something wrong with me. Sometimes I got hooked by these people. I became reactive. I started reacting to them, even did things to show them, that, that I'm not weird, or I'm not like that. I can succeed in their world, kind of thing. And it cost me to waste energy and attention and some of my clarity about what's my path. And in this video I want to share with you why is it so important for you to know that, and why, and what can you do. What are the possibilities, and really what is the distinctions about what these people do. So let's start from here. If you following me for a while, you see me doing all these videos about how can you look at things differently. And my last video, for example, was sensitive versus spiritual, because somehow people mix that together, and people told sensitive people that you're like spiritual person, and they kind of projected all the stuff of a spiritual person on someone that was just sensitive and connected to their feelings to some extent. And I did this video about multi-potentialite. It's a really great video, and being a multi-potentialite is really basically about this some of us, our brain, they found this in a TED talk, like researchers, our brain works differently, and we're interested in a bunch of different stuff, and our brain work on cross-referencing between different things and starting a lot of things, starting a lot of new hobbies and a lot of different interested, and dropping some on the way. And that's kind of the multi-potential mind. And if you grew up in modern culture, they told you, no, you should focus on one thing. Like if you're not focused on one thing, they said you're irresponsible. They said that you don't know how to focus. You said that like you can't commit. You don't know how to commit. That you're a quitter. Stuff like that. So if you watch that video, you got a new distinction about, it was not that I'm a quitter. I'm just a multi-potentialite. So this video is kind of the same. It's kind of the same, and it's about like they told you that you can't settle down, that you're not grounded, that you live in this fantasy world, that you're not connected to reality. But really, what is the reality that we're talking about? What they were talking about is modern culture, right? When they say reality, what they mean is that kind of structure in their head about how things are. And everyone have their own interpretation of reality. Just open Facebook and hear how many every person have their own opinions and agendas and belief systems about how things should look like, how the world is, what is the right thing that everyone should do. All these advices, the internet is just full of this, but it was always there. Whether the form of religion, belief systems, whatever, but it was always there, like people boxes how things should be. And this is how people see the world, through their box, through their filter. And this is, when they say reality, they really mean modern culture. The culture, the society that, you see outside when you go outside, which is not sensitive, right? Nobody talks about their feelings. It's all about survival. Like the purpose is to survive, which is not bad. It's not good, it's just limited. And it's focused about power, getting the most power to survive, getting the most effect on other people, like politics, like be a politician, be a salesman. It's about money, believing in this system of money and getting the most money, the most resource that you can get, so you get more powerful and you survive better, and do like obey the rules, or don't obey the rules, like be a criminal. Like this is kind of the game rules of modern culture. And when they said that you're not in reality, or they looked at you strange, they thought, you're just like living in this fantasy. What they're referring to is that you live different in a different culture than the culture that they think is right. And a great experiment you can do is you can ask the people in your life that maybe, are you getting hooked by them about this thing. You can ask them like, what is for you modern culture, and why do you think it's so right? Like, why do you think your way of life is like the right way? Or why do you think we should do it like that? And then you're gonna hear all these stories. Money doesn't grow on trees. You need the good work. You need a good career, or you need to be an entrepreneur, or you need to start your own business, or they will tell you should focus on one thing, or they tell you all these stories, right? All the stories that they grew up with, that became part of their box, part of their survival strategy. And this is why it's very confusing, because a lot of sensitive people that start to feel their emotion, they start, after years of staying connected to their feelings, they started to feel all these emotions are too much, because I think the world opened this door for them to start transforming. And, they start to feel their feelings more, their emotion. Like, that's me, university, I started to notice that I was depressed, that I'm mixing sadness and anger. That's depression, really, as an emotion. And you can watch more of the videos about feelings and emotion if you want to get into that more. But just for that example, I started to realize that something is not okay, and I'm actually looking for something else. And then when I realized this, that my emotions are telling me that I need to navigate myself somewhere else than this, it's college, university, you basically working really hard and investing in modern culture and being kind of like a screw in the system for some corporation or something. Then when I started realizing this, what is the first advice I could find online? Psychologists, they're going to just give you another kind of modern culture advice, like a therapist thing. And I talk more about that in the red pill about therapy and stuff, so you can watch that video as well. But what is the advice that you get? It's like, make more money, that will make you happy, so like become this entrepreneur, or how to make more money. That's like the self-development now, because all the self-development people are also like, by the way, I live in Hawaii, or like I'm on this beach somewhere and I'm making money without working or something, like passive whatever. And or you get like this advice about like people that like this influencer, this self-development influencer, they already have their opinion about how things should be, and they give you their survival strategy, and it worked for them to survive better, so they think that what could help you to survive better. And that goes like really deep. Like, by the way, I was like this too, right? When I was doing the self-development, you can still see my old videos and you can see some of that stuff. And if you look even in like new age, like meditation, like you look at my meditation videos as well, it's kind of like, well, there it's more like, oh, I give you a tool and you can try meditation to help you get more clarity. But even in that, I was like, this is the way, like this is how you should, that's what should help you to get better, whatever that is. But all these paths that I'm talking about here right now, what I'm really saying here in this video is that they're kind of limited, because they don't talk to you about the next culture. They don't talk to you about what you're actually looking for. You're not looking for to be better in that culture. You're not looking to be better in modern culture. You're not trying to make more money so you sit in an office somewhere and be miserable. You're not looking for how to influence people, like how to have more friends or 1 million followers, so you still have stuck emotions and it still feel like shit even though you have now 1 million followers. It's not what you're looking for. So nobody's talking to you about what is the actual destination. What is this thing that you actually was looking for your whole life? And you can, I think if you're like me and you can, that's how I started this video, you can remember as a kid that there was some things that didn't work for you. Like you saw things as a sensitive kid and you could see like, wow, this cruelty, or why do people behave like this to each other? Or why is everything about money, or, all this stuff. And, it's great that you grew up in the world, and I grew up in the world where, there is struggles and boundaries and challenges, and then that's how you grow, right? I'm talking also about this in my book that I just finished writing, that it's called Super Sensitive, the Superpower of Sensitivity. Forgot for a minute. So, so like you get to this point where I'm actually looking for something. And maybe now that you grew up and you try some of this workshop, you did all the yoga, you're a great yogi or whatever, you're great shape, or you have money and you created your own business, whatever, like all these advices, you followed self-development for 7 years, you watched all the videos out there like I did, and you're doing breath work every day and you're drinking the cacao, or whatever, you're in your super mind group and you're invested in crypto, but you're still not where you want to be, because what you're actually looking for it's something else. It's like this, it's like this next culture thing. It's like a culture that looks different. It's like a different relationship to your own feelings. It's like a different relationship to your feelings, to your inner landscape. And it's a different relation to people around you. That's what culture is. It's like the relation to the people and the system and the game worlds around you. And I'm just so angry that nobody talks about this, and that I just decided to, I came up from this trip and I just decided to do this video, because this is what it really is. This is what this thing is all about. This is what, when we talk about Connect, the game world that we're taking a stand for, the collective game world that we started, this is what this game world is about. It's about to create a different culture, the next culture. That, we didn't invent these terms. There's already a bunch of groups and other teams and game world that already, they're also there and they're speaking this in these kind of terms. But yeah, what I was gonna say, it's kind of like it's already out there, this next culture that we, and you might felt as well. It's not that it's like very rare thing that like it's the goal in the end of the rainbow or something. You might went to a festival and you created this next culture with a bunch of friends, where feelings were in the center, you were centered as an adult, and you could collaborate with other men, women, and you connected to your sensitivity, to your feelings, and you source your bright principles into the world. Like you source the thing that you came here to source, and you're staying connected to that, which means you don't need to be adapted to, to some other kind of culture, to give your center to your boss or to like anyone like that, or to the system, And there was no hierarchy in your group, in this little culture game world that you created. And that's what it's about. That's what it's about. And I think that's what we're really looking for. And I'm really going to ask you this, and I'm going to finish the video with this. And I'm going to ask you, how would it be for you to have that kind of culture where you can be connected to yourself? There is enough time in the groups, in the conversation. The conversation are not being right or wrong, and you can check with yourself, how do you feel about things, and you can make decisions as a group, not as an hierarchy. And by the way, this technology exists already. If you ask yourself, we already use it. And then you can connect to people as you're adult. Nobody expects you to give them your center, to imagine they're an authority figure. And you can just have high level fun, collaborating, creating things, and bringing to the world, and like get a team to bring into the world what you're here for to create, what you're here for to do. How would that feel to you? So I'm just saying that, it's out there already. We don't need to invent the wheel. And on the other hand, how are you connecting to this? There's a really simple way, and there's some groups, there's some teams. You can start your own thing, and if you want, just let some of us know. We can connect to you and help you with that. You can start this group in your own city. It's called the Possibility Team, where you just meet and give each other possibilities. So there's so much. There's basically like this huge amusement park. Once you found the entrance to next culture, which is really here, which is really getting this, then there's like endless possibilities for you, and there's endless possibility, for people to do things in a different way. And when there's something else in the center, there's something else in the center of what we're here for to do, and in the culture that we are sourcing into the world, then things start to look differently. And it's not just this cycle of, you already know the cycle. I think you want to break free of it. So, here's a doorway, and I hope you enjoyed and maybe felt sad and maybe got angry and maybe were a bit scared about this video. But thank you for watching, and see you next time.